Recording. All right. So now I don't even have my notes open. All right. Okay, I got the notes.
My
You got
phone is like right
yours.
behind me. That's I'm to grab it.
All right. All right. Okay. Do. All right. I think I'm ready. Are you?
I am ready.
Oh, 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 oh. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Frustrated Grad podcast. Look at us. We're on video. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully, we're testing this out. If you're seeing this, then good for me. We should have video of me right here, and then I can't point. You should have Tony in the corner right here. So hopefully, we can
Oh,
post like this going forward because my good friend Maxwell Baumbach
thanks, Max.
made fun of podcasts like mine. It was like you just slap a picture on YouTube and put the audio under it and call that a video. And I was very
Oh,
offended by that. So then I decided to do something about it.
hey, it's the audio that counts, but the
Yeah.
video helps.
Yeah, I like having the option. I like for people to
Yeah.
see my lovely
Mug.
mahogany glow. All right.
Fine Nubian
Yeah.
skin.
All right. So I didn't realize I was recording like 8 minutes of just stupidness before I recorded my audio version. So audio listeners, this will probably be fixed by the time you get to it. So what's going on, co-host Tony Hoffman?
Hey. How's it going? Is it cold?
Um,
Cold enough for you in
ha,
our neck of the woods?
yeah, it definitely is. I got a car wash today, and it's probably like the first time I've got a car wash in like probably over a year. It's way overdue. Had like just all kinds of stuff stuck to my car, so I feel good, but I'm worried that I'm gonna drive through like another pile of slush and it's just gonna be undone.
Mess
But
it all up.
hey, $3 car wash. I had to give it a shot. Plus, they had free vacuuming, and I had quite a mess inside my car that I never
Ooh,
pay attention to. Just like
lots of
all the like crumbs and stuff by like
hamburger wrappings and
not even that, just like the crumbs and stuff that you find by like the footrests and the mats and everything. So I was glad to finally get that taken care of.
but the memories like those crumbs they're a reminder of like all of the fast food joints and all of the little bags of corn nuts you've purchased from drugstores.
Corn nuts. I've had corn nuts since high school. But yeah, I'm not that sentimental. I'm glad that's taken care of. How's the week been for you?
Week's been pretty good actually. I spent it training at my new day job. It's
All
been
right, cool.
downtown, so yeah, job stability is always nice, especially this time of the
Job stability for the win. Definitely.
year. I've been kind of catching up on a few things. I like the whole Luke Cage thing. I know that
Yeah.
you've already completed it, and like
Yep.
I've been a little
Been there,
behind. Like,
done that.
yeah, I like the first reason why I had been like delaying and like watching all of it is because like the first two episodes were kind of like slow and very talky. Even though
Yeah.
like at the end of episode two, or even like in episode two, you get the scene where you have like the murder, a couple of people get like shot, the whole like money deal. I
Yeah.
forget the characters' names, but you have that happening, and then you have like Luke Cage like beating the crap out of you. You actually get to finally see him like in action,
Yeah.
and I'm noticing like in season 3, like things really start to pick up, and because now
Episode
he's
3.
like, yeah, because now he's like. The barbershop guy gets killed, and now he's like, okay, I'm going to take this guy down. He comes like he has this plan of like instead of like going straight after, the big guy whose name escapes me because I'm horrible with character names.
Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
He decides to go after.
But don't call him Cottonmouth, by the way.
No,
He doesn't like that.
No, he decides to like go after like everybody in this crew. Like he like the whole chess analogy. You know, his queen, his
Yeah,
knights, his rooks, and you
yeah,
have like those shot of him like knocking down the little pieces. I like that, and just him going around like kicking ass because he's a
yeah.
superhero. So now I'm invested. Now.
Yeah, and the thing I've liked about Luke Cage, the character from Jessica Jones all the way into his show, is he gets into it a little more later in the season, but I like how he's just kind of reluctantly beating
He
people.
doesn't want to.
Just like
Yeah.
just like smack somebody on the head and knock them out. The
Yeah.
people are like stabbing him and shooting him. It was like, get away from
Yeah.
me.
And like
I
he
like
doesn't
that
he
part of it.
doesn't he doesn't want to like use his power for like monetary gains initially. Like
Yeah.
he wants to have like an honest job and an honest life. But 'cause you pull into it, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember if it's in the first three episodes, but there's uh, I think he beats up the guys in Connie's restaurant, Genghis Connie's,
Genghis
and
Khanis.
yeah, and she offers to like basically hire him as security. He was like, "Oh,
No,
I'm no hero for hire." I guess it's coming up. He says, "I'm no hero for hire," which is kind of a Easter egg for the comic
that's
book
episode two.
story.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because he actually becomes a hero for hire in the comic book. So it's a funny little shout out to that. But yeah, you
Yeah.
need
So
to
yeah,
continue on with that. I enjoy the way the series went. Uh, you're gonna be in for some treats coming soon.
I feel like I love the actors on the show too.
Yeah,
Um, Speaking of uh, Marvel news, their
big Marvel news.
big Marvel news, arguably their most famous character, Spider-Man.
Yes, he's finally home.
Yeah, he's come home, air quotes,
Wink, 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 wink.
to Marvel, Disney, the joint production with them, with Disney, Marvel, and Columbia, the Spider-Man: Homecoming. They released
Yep.
the trailer. I guess it's like the second or the first. I lose track of stuff like that. Trailer,
Yeah, there's so many like you. They usually
the
have a
teaser
teaser, then they have a
to the
trailer, then they have trailer number two or whatever. Yeah,
Red Band.
yeah, that was the first one that I saw this week. I think it might be the first trailer, but I'm not sure. But I liked what I saw in the trailer. What did you think?
I did too. It feels like I have that 2002 feeling.
Yeah,
Zach. Like it feels like how I felt in like '02 when the first Raimi Spider-Man came out. Like
yeah,
I think that they've. I mean, it's going to be better than the Amazing
yeah,
Spider-Man films, and it remains to be seen if it's going to be like even better than the Raimi ones. But I feel like we're going to be entertained. It's going to be
yeah.
enjoyable.
And I like the
Yeah.
fact that okay, they're back to kind of starting off, but he's already Spider-Man. We don't have to see that
The
origin
origin.
again. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe there'll be glimpses of it, but he's kind of in full swing when we get into the movie. It
Pun,
looks like,
pun intended.
pun intended, swing. But yeah, so I like that they're not. And one thing that the solo movies used to have a problem with in the past will always be the issue of like when you go from the Avengers back to solo movies, like why don't you call the Avengers? They kind of address that issue and you see some of that in the trailers. Like, well, he is working with Iron Man, and he's trying to do his own thing because he already went through the whole thing with the Civil War, and he kind of wants to do his own thing and establish himself. So he's like, well, I don't want to call in the other guys. So
Oh,
I think that's cool to see that actually addressed. So that's cool.
I like them. I like the big presence that Tony Stark has in this
Yeah,
movie.
it's
Yeah,
kind
like
of the Uncle Ben surrogate.
he's providing basically the all of the upgrades to the
Yeah,
suit. You know,
yeah, he's
he's
getting them started on the right foot.
yeah, it's like they're keeping him like in like they're basically telling you that this is a Marvel movie. Like
Yeah,
he's a
this
part of the
is
family. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
He is
Yes.
he's basically an Avenger, except for the Avengers are kind of fractured at this point. But so that's going to be interesting to see, like how
Any
they
Captain
address that like
America,
Captain
yeah.
America's not in the picture right now. So that's even more reason why
Yes, to
you
see
wouldn't
this
just
movie.
call in the team. Is like, well, who is the team? Like, okay, Rhodey's paralyzed. You've got Tony, who basically has to probably get government clearance just to get his suit uh, out of storage. So that's gonna
Vision,
be
you got
cool.
Vision, right?
Yeah, we
He's
got
still
Vision,
around.
who's basically godlike, but you only call him in for the major tasks. Uh, so yeah, I'm excited for this. There was another trailer. I don't know if it came out this week, but I watched it this week. It was Guardians of the Galaxy Part Two. I think it came
Uh,
out a week
I,
before
I, I thought you were
last.
gonna say 50 Shades Darker.
No, no.
You're excited?
I'm not
Oh,
excited
Zach.
for more bondage.
I
I
didn't
have
know you
never
were into.
I never saw the first one, and
I've
I
seen the
don't plan
first.
on it.
I've seen chunks of it because it's been on like HBO
All
or
right.
like in the past year, and
Okay.
I really didn't care about the plot that much. I was just in it for the
I don't think
nudity.
anybody really cared about the plot, really. I mean, this
It's
is a
like
movie that was started from a book that was Twilight fan
fan
fiction, so I don't
fiction.
think there's too much thought about the plot. It's like, oh, just swap a name, and now it's a new thing. It's like, okay.
I'll just say that I've seen porn better acted and scripted. But go on.
All right. You know, a lot of people don't look at porn for the story either.
No, 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 no. Of course
Uh,
not. Of course not. Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
yeah,
I
so
saw the trailer as well.
I saw the full trailer because the one had seen in the past was just kind of like quick clips of
Yeah.
things. It didn't show you really story beats. So I like this one. I like seeing Baby Groot,
Yeah,
or
we talked
I
about it
guess
last.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
teenage Groot. Yeah,
yeah,
but I hadn't seen it at the time,
yeah.
so I think it looks good. There's more from Batista, and it's funny. Just like Batista is just a full time
I can't
movie
believe
star
it.
now. Yeah, so
And
I'm
he's
excited
funny.
for that. Yeah, yeah. I just like how blunt he is. Like, oh, he told your deepest, darkest secret.
Very secret.
Me next. So I'm ready for it. It's funny, like when I was looking at that trailer on YouTube, they showed like suggested videos to watch after that. Then there was like,
Batman v Superman.
no, no, thank you. But there was another one that looked just like Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a movie that features Rihanna as an alien stripper. It's called Valerian.
I have not heard
Valerian,
any of
yeah,
this.
it's called Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, which doesn't make sense. But
It should be the other way around, but yeah,
yeah,
go on.
so yeah, so I don't understand the title, but it looks pretty good. It one thing it has going against it is that it
Rihanna's
stars.
trying to act.
Well, uh, I feel like Rihanna, for once, is not my worry as far as acting talents in a movie. Another person we've talked about a little bit in a past podcast is Cara Delevingne. She's one of the lead actresses in this movie. We
Uh,
may know her as Enchantress from Suicide
Enchantress.
Squad. So,
But in all fairness, we didn't see much of like her. Like we basically just saw her as like the enchantress. We didn't see her as
as a real
not
person, as
CGI. Yeah,
June
exactly.
Moon,
June Moon.
the least comic book
Yes,
naming.
we didn't see the full June Moon character in depth.
Yeah. So maybe this will be a little
Yeah,
hint of what she can really do when she's not like belly dancing
yeah.
constantly.
If you didn't enjoy the that other movie she did, that tween thing from a couple
What
of years
was it?
ago, yeah,
Not
where she
500 Days of Summer, was it? It was some one of those
500
indie
Days of
movies.
Summer.
That's
Zoe
Zoe Deschanel.
and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. I can't
Yeah,
remember. It was one of those movies. It's like, oh, that looks cute, and then I
yeah,
never saw it.
yeah.
I just
Kids in
lumped
high
those all
school
together.
learning. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, so that one, if you watch the trailer for that, it looks exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy. Before you see like the lead actors, you would think that was also a trailer for
Yeah.
Guardians. So
Did it have any like
interesting.
'70s music in it?
Um,
That's a
I
that's a
think it was more
trend now.
contemporary. I can't remember
Okay.
exactly what they were using, but it was a little more current than that. But yeah, so it looks like from the trailer, it looks good. I don't think it's going to be a lot of work for her to do acting wise because I think they're going to be counting on the visuals and the craziness of the story to take over. So I'll be looking forward to that. I think it's coming out in the summer of 2017 as well. So that might confuse some people when they're looking at this summer trailers and like these two movies look very identical. But I guess we'll see. Do you know when Spider-Man: Homecoming is coming out?
July 7th.
Okay, so again, we're gonna have two Marvel movies for summer, so that's cool. Uh, I'm excited for that. I I think that we're gonna get the complaints that we get every year during the summer. People talk about superhero fatigue.
Too many superhero movies. But
I've never understood that.
if they're
Yeah,
good, then who cares? Like
yeah,
this year, I understand because most of them have sucked.
but it wasn't even like superhero fatigue. It's just bad movies. Like
Exactly.
the majority of movies this summer, period, like superhero or not, they're very
Yeah.
bad movies
Oh,
this
I
summer.
was just thinking about that. Kind of like
Yeah,
what a horrible summer. I can't remember. Like, was there anything that enjoyable that
I'm trying. I mean, Civil War was that was like early in the
that
summer though,
yeah, that was like after
so
that. Yeah, it was like maybe like a month after Batman v Superman, which was in March.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, that was
I
like
guess if
April-ish,
you
May,
counted that, then Doctor Strange was like it was like
November.
Marvel bookended the summer. It's like well, the all the bad movies were like right in between those two. Um, so I can't think of anything that like stood out. And I was trying to think like Zootopia, but that was early in the year too.
And you
So
wouldn't call
yeah,
that like a big like oh this is the greatest
yeah,
this is
it
the movie
was
of the summer.
yeah like all the big ones that were they were leading up to were like Suicide Squad. Then there was
Ghostbusters,
X-Men. That was terrible. it was it just
awful.
yeah, it was a bad summer. I'm
Yeah.
hoping for a greater later.
This
Uh,
like the fall and like the winters have been like has been turning into like a better
yeah,
season.
it's funny that the fall is like horror movie season. Like you get those movies like around October. Then there's
Hmm,
another like swing of them like January, February. You get a few horror movies. So it's funny
John
how
Wick,
the
J-
placement goes.
John Wick 2, which isn't a horror movie. That's coming out in February. Like
Yeah,
that's it's amazing how that time of the year used to be sort of like the dumping ground because it's like after
yeah,
the Oscar. It's after the Oscar season, but it's before the big summer season. It's
yeah.
amazing
Now
how like how some
that's
gems are
changed.
coming
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah. Because Deadpool came out in February of this
yeah,
year, so they kind of switched things up. That's I guess that was kind of what started with a low bar for them to jump over. Like, oh, it's the highest February release, but then it's kept getting all these other records. Like, okay, highest R-rated movie of all time. So that's even bigger. But yeah, so it's funny the landscape of like movies as far as placement and stuff is changing,
I
but
love it.
still
This,
ideas like new ideas are still a struggle to come by.
have you seen the? I think the Star Wars: The Force Awakens comes out on Thursday, and like
Yeah,
the whole cast was on like Kimmel, I think yesterday, and they showed like some teaser. They show like some scenes from the movie.
I try not to look at those things
Yeah,
because
I
like
haven't seen any of them.
if you
I
follow
haven't seen
all
it.
of this stuff, you'll have
Have the
chunks
full
of the
movie,
movie where it's just like,
the
okay, I
whole
know this
plot.
part, I know this part. Oh, that thing is gonna
Yeah,
happen. Yeah, there it goes.
yeah. I avoided that with the Force Awakens
Yeah,
last year.
because
So
because I was like being not a huge Star Wars guy. Like I like The Force Awakens, but the other movies, just based
yeah,
on proximity of time, is that they don't really like hold a place in my heart. So
no,
knowing that we're going back in time before A New Hope, it's like I had to struggle to get excited for this one. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to give it away. So I just want to go in and see what it is when I'm in the theater.
I'm excited because it's after the events of the prequels and it's right
Yeah.
before the first Star Wars. So we're gonna have Darth Vader.
Yeah.
We're gonna have like the Emperor. We're gonna have like some other like characters
But I'm
from the
wondering,
first
like,
film.
okay, so in A New Hope, which is really Star Wars, the first Star Wars,
It's just Star Wars.
yeah. So when
Jesus.
they build the Death Star, and then they demonstrate by destroying Leia's home planet. So are we gonna see anything from Leia in here? Because like they've like in Star Wars, they have captured her and are like they destroy her planet in front of her, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be any involvement from
Yeah.
Leia's
Well,
character. I guess it's kind of just dealing with another angle of like, okay, they're still building it, so we're not into this part of the story yet.
will Leia have like a British accent like she did in the first film? And
And then it drops.
he just disappears out of nowhere.
I mean, you see that in the Marvel universe as well with Scarlet Witch. Her accent
Or
changes.
whatever.
Some,
Slovakian accent, wherever it is.
I guess, whatever it's supposed to be. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm awaiting Rogue One. I think it's gonna be like again, it's gonna be another like entry point since it's not relying on old characters as much. It might be even an even better entry point than Force Awakens,
Yeah,
since
I
felt
yeah,
like that was kind of fan service and kind of a throwback still.
very much.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're gonna do like the traditional like crawl with like the Star Wars
I
opening and
I
stuff.
heard that they aren't going to do one with this
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they said that I
It's
guess
not part of
the
the story
saga
yet.
movies or
Yeah,
some kind of way they distinguished them, like okay, this is the Star Wars saga and these are like standalone
standalone.
movies, so I guess those are not going to have the crawl, which I feel like having that crawl every movie is
It
kind of played out
really.
anyway because it's like, well, for a few reasons, like okay,
I
I
think
understand it's
it makes
part
it
of
feel
the
like a
aesthetic.
Star Wars movie.
I guess. I
You get
mean,
excited
like I
when
don't have that nostalgia for it. So I guess for me, it's just
yeah.
like, oh, they're
You're
doing that
heartless.
old thing. They're doing
Yeah.
that old thing from that one movie.
Yeah.
But
Let me
also,
tell you, when you're in the theater and that happens, when
like,
that Star
oh
Wars
yeah,
logo, like, oh,
I heard the reactions.
I didn't give a like. I wasn't as hyped for Force Awakens as everyone else. The Force
Yeah.
Awakens last year.
So
When
did
that
the crawl
happened,
do
man,
it
I was
for you? Yeah.
like I was in. I was in.
I
They got
understand.
me. I was excited.
And another thing I heard, this was a theory that was talked about on the ETC show. They talked about like they're giving away all these like storylines in that long crawl. It's like now they're trying to make all these movies and all these standalones. Like you're giving away script ideas in the crawl, so it's like they're gonna save some of that stuff because there was a whole like the scroll for Force Awakens is talking about all this stuff with what happened to Luke and now he's missing. Is like
Yes, yeah,
that
it's
could have been an
long.
entire movie. So you just gave that away in just some text. So they're probably
Yeah.
saving that stuff a little bit.
The ones from like the original films are very short. It basically just tells you like,
Yeah,
this is what happened in like the last movie, and then this is where we're at now.
yeah,
This is what's happening now.
yeah. It's
Luke,
like okay,
yeah,
here we are, and now the Emperor has returned or whatever, and then it kicks off the movie. But it's like
yeah.
they did a lot of like, okay, and then this happened, and then Luke disappeared, and then he hid this in a droid, and da da da. Now here's the movie. It's like it was. I felt like it was longer in Force Awakens. So, um, so I'm awaiting Rogue One, and we'll see how it is. Probably by the next time we podcast, we will have both seen it.
Yes.
So we'll probably discuss
Speaking
it then.
speaking of Star Wars, there's another thing. Apparently, there's a rumor that the title of the next Star Wars movie will
Rogue
be
Two.
Rogue Two. No, although that would make sense.
All right.
The title, according to rumor, will be Star Wars: Forces of Destiny.
Okay, so we're going back to the Force thing. Okay, Force
Uh,
Awakens, Forces of Destiny. So does that mean there's more Jedi's coming? Forces,
I, I would assume so.
or maybe like
The
the future of the Jedi's, their
the
destiny.
future Jedi's. Yeah, we need more Jedi's. They're kind of scarce right now.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, they're saying that this may be the title because of Lucasfilm submitted a trademark
For
filing to the
Forces of
European,
Destiny.
yeah, to the European Union Intellectual Property Office.
All right.
So
I
yeah,
mean, you never know. It could be a video game or something. Forces of Destiny.
Forces
Uh,
of Destiny. Yeah,
so we'll see. Um, any other news? I see you have some stuff in our notes.
some
Um,
different noties.
yeah,
Um,
one story that you reminded me of a bit I liked on Saturday Night Live from last week was on SNL they did the sketch about Fisher Price wells for sensitive boys. Uh,
yeah,
I wish that was a real product because I could have used that
because you're a
in my
sensitive
youth.
young man.
Yeah. But a real Fisher Price product is causing some controversy. It
Is it a real one or was it like
That's what I want to know. It looked like a real product. They had the little picture with all the kids posing and everything. So
uh,
it's
let me read this thing. Okay, so okay, in ad- in addition to the scourge of fake news, now we also have to worry about fake toys. Case in point, a happy hour playset featuring a bar, stools, and fake beer bottles that's supposedly being sold by Fisher Price. Um, it's not. And make no mistake, the product is fake and only exists in a photo posted Monday on
okay.
Instagram
I'm
by Adam.
disappointed.
Yeah, I thought that they would have a sense of humor, Fisher Price, and they were creating something. They were
I
creating
was
something
so
like unique.
excited. Like,
I would buy that.
yeah, because like they have like kids ovens and kitchen sets. So it's like why not just have a bar? You can say it's like a juice bar. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
a liquor bar.
get
Just
them
have the
started early.
stools.
And
Yeah.
it's fun to like go to like be a barkeeper or a bar back. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to drink or anything or become drinkers. Yeah,
Yeah, they
just
just practice wiping the bar with a rag
yeah, it's a very noble
and pulling
profession.
out the keg from the back. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
I'm disappointed with that one. See,
Wear the
so
little bow tie.
here's my demand from Fisher Price. We need the happy hour playset, and we need the well for sensitive boys. You can throw in the broken mirror for pondering all of life's questions if you want to. But yeah, we need all of that stuff.
Yeah, get on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then to stick with the toy theme, I saw that there's it's not a toy, but it's a product for kids. It's called Pony Up Daddy, an actual human saddle for kids.
This just sounds dirty from the title. A
It
human
does.
saddle called
Yeah,
Pony Up Daddy. I feel like this should be sold at like Lover's Lane or somewhere like that.
it's it has a purpose. Then you put
No.
it. It's a saddle you strap on for pony rides.
So do you
Uh,
so does an adult put on the saddle and then a child rides on their back?
that's the purpose. Like they have like little images, and they have there's like a gift of like a little girl like getting on the saddle. The saddle's on her dad's back, and the dad's real excited, and she's real excited, and you know
I
she's
understand
going
the
up and down like that.
I understand the time tested tradition of pony rides and piggyback rides, but
Yeah.
I feel like when you start buying equipment specifically for that purpose, it goes beyond
Huh.
what I would think is normal territory. Just daddy's back is good enough. You just
Yeah. They say it's
like
great for moms too, even though it's called
sure,
Pony Up Daddy.
yeah. I always heard Miranda Sings talk about the daddy saddle, and I guess this is what she was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't
So
just making it up.
yeah. So there we go. Um,
What do you I'm trying to like the most popular toys of this year. Have you heard of like I think it's called
hmm,
Hatchimals?
Hatchimals.
Hatchimals?
I think is that the thing where like you I don't know how it works, but it's like the thing hatches and it grows
It's
after it
yeah.
comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
mean
makes me
I'm
think
not
of those like things where you like just add water and then the little thing expands. I'm assuming
like
it's
a
something
chia
like
pet.
that. not even like a chia pet, but those little sponge things where you get
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah.
like this big and you drop them in a cup of
I forget
water
what they're
and they
called.
yeah, I forgot what those are, but
That reminds me of that the Simpsons episode where Bart gets like the pack of sponges. He thinks like are going to be like dinosaurs to like
okay.
attack Lisa, and then he sprays it with the hose, and it basically
Yeah, it just
becomes
stays
like a
there base.
sponge
Yeah, like
and goes down goes down like the drain on the street. And
yeah.
yeah, so like Hatchimals is like that, and like the NES Classic Mini are like the two like popular kids, the two popular toys of
I feel
this.
like the NES Classic is probably more popular just with man
Yeah,
children.
yeah, exactly. For yeah, me pretty much.
Like I'm getting this for the kids. Why is it in your den? They can come in there like
Yeah,
once a month and play. Um,
they don't appreciate it like I do.
yeah, those are the same people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to put you guys in a box because of, but I feel like the same people who are looking for the NES retro are the same people that get like the figures and never take them out of the case.
No, no, they'll damage them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
oh no, you must
It's like
dust
a
them.
it's like Will Ferrell in the Lego Movie. You know, it's for kids
Yeah,
with 6 and
he
up.
glues
That's
them
only
down.
it's only a suggestion. You know,
Yeah,
ages 6 and up.
yeah, he glues all the buildings together so you can't take them apart, and then they're just like he like
It's like
basically rails
it's
on
a
his child for trying to play with a toy.
exactly it's something intended for little kids.
Yeah, I love the end of the Lego movie when like the little girl brings her toys down. Like we're going to destroy you. It's like ah,
Uh, I'm sure that like all the popular toys, like from like the past, like I like apparently like the Nintendo Game Boy was like the toy of Christmas in like 1988. Like
really?
I was too young to like remember that.
I had a Game Boy, but I don't
So
remember
did
when
I
I ended up getting it. I got it when I was older, obviously, but
in the early 90s.
yeah,
Were you
it's so weird
like
to think about that you were just playing this game with just a green screen with like black characters.
spinach green screen? Hey,
Yeah,
it works, man. Like I don't know if I could like play it now and like have that much enjoyment that I did, back then.
yeah. Now
But
it's now I'm in the market for DS. I need three
uh,
dimensions, man.
and
Uh,
I had a Game Gear too. Like a little bit late, like later after I had a Game Boy,
it's
I
funny.
got the
I think my aunt had a Game Gear, and I played it when I was at her house.
battery sucking
Yeah,
thing
it took six AA batteries. I
on each
think.
side of the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, like three
This
batteries on each side.
It was only good for like 4, maybe 6 hours.
Yeah, that was. It's just so crazy, like the technology back then. Like
Yeah.
you had, I don't even think I know of any like products that take those D cell batteries anymore. I remember I
No,
used to have like a radio that took those like big chunky D
play
cell
school.
batteries.
Those little radios with the little microphones attached to it.
Oh yeah, I had one of those too. The
Cassette.
radio that has like the smiley face on it, and you
Yeah.
can talk to it. It's not like wah, wah, wah. There's a horrible microphone on there,
I used to
but
record stuff off the radio, songs off the radio.
yeah, absolutely. That's what probably led me into an attempted career in radio.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just playing around with those little things.
This podcast wouldn't have started without it.
Yeah, I I think that little speaker thing is at my mom's house somewhere. It has the little smiley face and the little feet with the thing on
Play
it.
buttons, the
I'm
big
sure
giant
I
button.
yeah, I'm sure I killed the battery on that thing a long time ago.
Yeah. Were you too old for a Tickle Me Elmo in '96? I think it was.
Yeah,
12,
I
12.
I think I may have I can't remember. Somebody in my family had one, so I played around with the Tickle Me Elmo, but like I was too old to enjoy it for myself. I think it was before high school because I started high school in '99.
Yeah,
But
yeah. 'Cause I was like 11 or 12,
yeah,
and yeah,
but yeah, I remember. I can't remember who had one, but I played with it because they went from the Tickle Me Elmo to the one where I think it hits on the floor and like kicks around. It's like so I just thought it was odd because like, what do you do after you tickle it? You just gonna do that all day and like, because I think it just reacts when you touch it. So it's like you can't play with like a regular toy. So those things, they always have a short lifespan for me. Those like talking toys that gets really annoying. Because I just think of Toy Story, where like Woody was so embarrassed to have someone actually pull his string, like, oh, there's a snake in my boot. It was like his secret shame when that thing would go off.
Do
But
you
yeah,
in 1983 to go a little further back, the Cabbage Patch Kids? My
I
sister had one.
I didn't have a Cabbage Patch Kid. I think when I was really little, I had one of those glowworm things that had like it had like the face like a Cabbage Patch Kid, but it's like a tube, it's like a long worm with a baby's head on it, which is weird to think about in hindsight.
So like a basically like a piece of sperm or like a.
Basically, a human tadpole, but I think it glowed like you had pushed a button on it and it glowed or something. I don't know. I had that like from when I was an infant, I think. So I didn't have any say in the matter. But it's
Yeah.
just weird to think that like you'll see on the news that they still talk about like, oh, what's the hot toy for Christmas? Like, do kids really think about this stuff anymore? I feel like everything's digital now. It's
Hey man,
like,
like I mean, when I watched when I watched like the Cartoon Network, which is mostly for kids, you have
yeah,
the commercials for the little play sets and like,
I
you know,
guess.
even like the WWE,
Yeah.
they still have
It's so
their little
weird.
cage toy.
Those
Hell in a Cell.
WWE toys don't reflect anything that ever happens in actual wrestling match. Like
No, no.
giant shark cage hanging over the ring, and you slingshot people at the cage. Like, when are you ever gonna see that on television? Like, I. I wish you would have Roman Reigns in a cage hanging above
Yeah.
the ring, and Seth Rollins just gets launched at it. That would be exciting.
It
That
it
might
it
raise the
feels like
ratings.
it would have been more of an ECW thing back in the day.
I guess, or like even like scummier places like CZW, where they would have the scaffolding matches, where people would just fight up in the ceiling and the loser falls down, damn near to
Okay.
their death. Uh,
New Jack
yeah,
joint action figure
jumping from the balcony.
is beating someone to death and
I love. I New Jack
pools of
matches.
blood.
New Jack matches were always just a hot mess that went all over the arena. But I just love the fact that they played natural born killers through the entire match. You would just hear. It's just like there's no wrestler that has a gimmick where it's like he just plays his theme song through the entire match. Just like that aspect of his character alone.
Yeah, I remember like I had the Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters
Yeah.
toys. I don't. I think we had like the Ecto one and like maybe like some of the characters and stuff, but that was big in like the 80s too.
Yeah.
And I was way too. I must have been like maybe
Yeah.
3 years old.
Choking hazard.
Exactly.
I remember I
And
had
like
all the like the Ninja Turtle stuff. I had like the
that was
van and I
89 and
had all the
90.
little
Yeah.
figures. But I like it's funny I look at those things now and I'll see people post on Facebook like only 90s kids will remember this and like most of those posts are like I had all of those toys. And then I'm like where the hell are those toys? Like I probably broke them or lost them along the way, but like I don't have any of that stuff from when I was a kid. It's just like
Nah.
disappeared. I don't have
Yeah, my
any
mom
idea.
has it. Uh, do you remember in 1997 like the big toy was the Tamagotchis? Those little digital
Tamagotchis,
Tamagotchis.
Digipets, basically
Those
the same thing.
Digipets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you had to
gotta
feed
feed them or
it
it
or whatever.
dies.
I had one of those, but I never had like the patience or I didn't care
Yeah,
enough, and it was always would just die. And
exactly.
because
People they had them at school and stuff. I
yeah,
remember.
I think they started to outlaw them after a
Yeah,
while. Like you can't play with those in class. It's like don't play with your
yeah,
Tamagotchi in
yeah.
class.
I remember.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we could be. I mean, there are so many more much more worse things you could be doing in school
Yeah,
and
like
in class.
now with your phone, you can have anything going
Yeah,
on
yeah,
during
literally
class.
anything.
Yeah, it's like, okay, on the innocent end of that, it's like, oh, you can't be playing Candy Crush in class. And on the other side of that, it's like, stop sending dick pics to your classmates.
Yes, stop causing your classmates to kill themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
this
Stop.
damn cyberbullying. It's just
God,
ridiculous. Like, if that was around, then I'd probably be in trouble
God,
myself.
could you?
Like,
I
I
thought
could,
about that. Like, if I was in school now, in high school
I mean,
specifically,
because even
with
like,
social media.
yeah, because in high school for me, we were just getting the internet. We had like
Yeah,
we had a typing class where we did
yeah,
Mavis
yeah.
Beacon teaches typing,
And number
and
munchies.
yeah,
Remember
and then it's like when like we were getting our first glimpses of the internet. So
the
during
first
type,
hookup?
yeah, so during the typing class, we would go to Ohla.com, OHHLA.com, and print out hip hop lyrics. So that would be like the thing we would
Mortal
do online.
Mortal Kombat codes, cheat codes for the
Yeah,
special moves.
yeah, the cheat code stuff was up there. You would go to rotten.com and just see those disgusting pictures of like people's like horrible injuries. There's just like weird stuff on the early internet. It was just
God, because
it was a no man's land.
if I was in school now with the internet, like you could never like escape that sort of environment. Like even when you come
Yeah.
home, like it still continues with like your classmates and like the teasing and the Facebook and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yeah, I
God,
would. I could say honestly that I was not ready for that back in my high school years. Like, I'm sure uh, kids who are in high school now have adapted to that, and they some of them find their way to navigate through. But for me, that was like it was a sensory overload already, and there was I was too shy to talk to girls, and they were like write
yeah,
letters, and then I was like
all that crap.
on on uh like Valentine's Day you try to
Cootie
give a
catchers.
girl a Valentine like I like you and then run away. So like
But
just
imagine
having
now they would be like making fun of you with their friends and shit
yeah
on
they could
fucking.
yeah somebody could be periscoping as you're doing that and then they'll never let it go because you could just watch it anytime you want because I still make fun of my friend Jose from elementary school. He there was this girl
Jose, 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 Jose.
there was this girl named Heather Dial, and and he had the biggest crush on her, and we kept egging him on to say like,
Do
just
it.
tell her you like her, tell her you like her,
Yeah.
and then like after school he's like, I love you, and then ran away. I was like, why'd you say I love you? And we like when we called
That
back
he's
up
coming
to
on
him,
too strong.
yeah, when we called back up to him, it was like, why'd you say I love you? It's like we would mention that all the way up until high school, and this happened when we were in like maybe fourth grade, but we never let it go. So
God.
yeah, imagine having that like in video form where you could
What
just
did
post it constantly and
oh
post it
on
all over the
YouTube. Yeah, oh
place. So
millions of hits.
yeah, so
What did
I'm
what
glad
did
I'm not
Heather
in that.
what did Heather say?
I think she just stood there. I think she might have laughed, but like
Baffled.
we were trying to catch up with him, and he was running down the block. So I was just like, "Oh my god, this is happening!" I
Yeah.
follow him just so I can make fun of him. So like, imagine being in that position now. It's just it's crazy. But I will say,
Crazy.
like, I feel like I had full access to the internet and to all the technology at my disposal when I needed it the most. Like even like when we were at Columbia, it was still like starting. Like Facebook was early and all that stuff.
You had to have a college
Yeah, you had to have a
email.
.edu
Yeah,
email
yeah.
address. So like even that was just like just starting out and like trickling in. But by the time I got into my graduate program, I felt like I was ready for all of that stuff. Like I did I did a master's in journalism, and like every article I wrote, I dictated on Dragon speech software on my iPad. So it's like that was the time where I felt like I could fully take advantage of like all the technology had to
Yeah.
offer, because like just trying to keep up with everything was just like, now it's
Too
like, oh,
much.
what's that thing? Snapchat? Nah, I guess I'll
Twitter,
pass.
Snapchat, fucking Pinterest,
Yeah.
Periscope.
Yeah, but I felt like, okay, having Facebook groups for classes in grad school and being able to use the dictation software and all the different ways I could Skype with somebody who I couldn't reach for an interview if I had to do something like that. So
Hmm.
like I feel like getting closer to current time is when like you could fully take advantage of that. In school, I just would have like wasted all of that opportunity. Like I was still just messing around, making stupid songs, and like if I was able to publish the songs I was making in high school, I would have like embarrassed myself out of existence, because it was like I just like produced garbage. But you never know.
Most
I could
people
have been the
do.
next Waka Flocka Flames, maybe, because I feel like what I'm hearing on the radio is like worse.
Chocolate rain.
Even that I feel like has more quality
Chocolate
than some of these
rain.
songs that I hear nowadays. There's I can't even think of what the hell the song is, but there's just, if you just sit in a car for a decent amount of time and skim through the dial, like I tend to go back and forth between Power 92 and GCI, and just like some of the stuff I hear on there is like, if I made this,
Somebody made this in a studio with like a
yeah,
production team.
like if I recorded something that sounded like this, I would never release it. And these people are like putting this stuff out. And the thing I hate about radio is that I'm noticing it more and more now. It's not that quality songs are what are being pushed out there or what are being like caught onto by the masses. It's just like, we'll put whatever this junk is on the radio, but we're gonna play it every hour, maybe twice an hour, and it's
Yeah,
gonna it's gonna be in your head just based on
we
like
have to make this song popular
yeah,
because it's like,
just based on subliminal messaging. It's
yeah,
like I,
this artist from this
yeah, I'll have
company from,
songs that
yeah.
I hate stuck in my head just because it's been
That's
drilled
how it works.
so much. It's
That's why.
like
I mean,
for the
the Taylor
long
Swifts and everybody else.
and for the longest I've had this stupid song in my head, like when I'll mess around with the recording, like as I'm getting ready to set up for the podcast, and when I do a mic check, too often I'll find myself singing this song, like, baby pull me closer in the backseat
The
of your
number
Rover.
one song in the
Take me.
country, I think, like
Oh my
a couple of
god,
months ago.
this song is
The
horrible. Oh god, it's a terrible song, but
that
it's
that's
stuck in my head.
I don't know what that sound is. That sound effect. That
I don't know. It just sounds like
oh.
somebody banging on one of those synthesizer keyboards.
Do you feel that
But
like not even like 100 years from now, but like 10 years from now, where it's gonna like look back at like people are gonna like listen to this like the we're
that's
gonna like think like were these songs popular? Like
that's the thing
who
I
would
always try to think about is like they'll always do like those remember the 90s and remember the 80s, and it's like there are always like distinct styles that they could pull out and be like, okay, this was the fashion of the 80s, this was the music of the 80s, and same thing with the 90s. I guess it's kind of a broad spectrum of the 90s, but there's like, okay, here's grunge, here's 90s hip hop and stuff like
yeah,
that. But it's like,
R&B.
what is the distinctive thing of like the 2000s and then like the 2000 teens? It's like, it feels like it's, I mean, I guess garbage rap,
EMI or
E-
electric dance music. Yeah,
EDM, I guess. But
EDM is
I
what I
feel
meant.
like that's
That's
not
not
like,
the record company.
I feel like that's not like everybody would identify that as like, oh, that's from the 2010s. It's like, well, a lot of people don't listen to that, but I guess that's an aspect of it. I feel
Yeah,
like it's
trick
just,
music,
yeah, or
trap
trap.
music, trap your trap,
Yeah,
trick.
yeah, they trick people into thinking it was good.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
meant to say that.
yeah, so it's just like it's garbage music. I feel like is this distinguishing characteristic of like the 2010s. It's like mumble rap, I guess, is one of those things.
Mumblecore.
like that lifestyle song. Like I still don't understand what the hell the dude is saying in there. And
It
I feel like since that song came out, I'm sure it wasn't the first one, but it's like there's so much of that on the radio now. It's like, what is this language? As far as it
it's
is,
like the songs being good is like optional. It's like as long
yeah,
as you're
it's
it's
not
a popular
it's
artist
not a
from like
factor. Yeah,
this record company that's getting all this hype. They're gonna play it on the radio over and over again, whether it's because of payola or whatever. And
yeah,
we're gonna make you listen to this. It's gonna be trapped in your head. And yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just so odd, and I feel like an old man saying that, but it's just like even like beyond just being like, oh, I'm old and I don't understand these new artists and I'm not familiar with them. It's just like I would like to know what they're saying. Like
Back in
that's the minimum requirement for me. Is like sure you could say Bone Thugs and Harmony they rap fast,
yeah.
but if you listen, you can understand what they're saying. These people are mumbling,
Busy
and
Bone.
yeah, like even something which isn't like one of the worst examples. You just think of like Future, like wiggy 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 wiggy. It's like that. Like if you look at the lyrics, it's supposed to say wicked wicked, but it's like no, he's saying a different word. He said wiggy wiggy wiggy. Like
What's
okay,
that song? That Panda, Panda, Panda,
panda
Panda,
panda panda panda.
Panda,
Look at
Panda.
words in the line. It's under the my fella. Look at these panda. It's under my
What the
tongue got a
hell are
panda.
you talking
Look at
about?
panda. This one just look like a panda. Like oh, look like a panda. I understood that part, but and that dude is like I think he's still a teenager because I think he missed prom for some concert or something. So it's very odd. It's like just put out some kind of mumbly garbage on top of a beat with a lot of bass, and there you go.
There you go. Hey, Zach, do you want to hear why Will Smith chose Suicide Squad over Independence Day Resurgence?
Speaking of rappers who you can definitely understand,
Oh, yeah, quite
uh,
clearly. Very
so
well
that
spoken young man.
that was a distinct decision. Like, okay, Independence Day or Suicide Squad. I mean, I can understand why he chose Suicide Squad. It's not that hard to understand. Like, okay, you want to do some throwback nostalgia movie, which take it or leave it. It could be good, could not. But
Wow, did you read
you
the
also
article?
no, but it's like I mean it's pretty obvious. Like, oh, you could be a leading character in this
A new character.
in what could be DC's Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
Yeah.
oh, these offbeat characters people aren't familiar with who could be a breakout hit. Like, sure, I'll take that risk. I have fuck you money, so fuck you. Let's do this. But
While speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Smith opened up about the decision why he left, why he felt it was important to move forward with his career instead of revisiting an old character.
mhm.
I had the two screenplays in front of me for Independence Day 2 and for Suicide Squad. I had to choose between the two of those. Even the choice of going to Suicide Squad, nothing about the qualities of the movie, but the choice of trying to do forward versus clinging and clawing backwards. I do not want to aggressively go forward and do new. I do want to go aggressively forward and do new things and create and hopefully be able to stumble upon a new heyday. So yeah,
Well,
pretty much what you said.
well,
That didn't
keep
happen,
rolling
but
the dice, Willie.
but I like his thinking.
Better luck next time. Uh,
Better luck next.
yeah. So, I mean, I understand the choice, and a lot of people would say he was one of the best parts about Suicide Squad. I feel like he did a decent job, aside from the part where he's like, I guess was some kind of Suicide Squad. It's just like
That's the name of the movie.
that's the thing where like they'll always do that in like cheesier
The
movies.
titular line.
Yeah, in I watched the videos from Cinema Sins where they say everything wrong with whatever movie, and that's the line where you say roll credits. It's just like you had to do it, of course. Um, so yeah, I understand why he made that choice. Hopefully, he makes a better choice in the future. I would like to see like a Hancock 2, even though that again is going back to something.
Yeah,
Like I
they
enjoyed
kind of
Hancock. It was
screwed.
just like a weird, odd, offbeat movie that could have been something more.
A lot of like studio interference, like the okay. So the original ending is there. they're like brother. No, they're supposed to be like God, like Adam and Eve, kind of. The Charlize Theron character and the
I
Will
think
Smith
so.
character.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I think
And
that was
I think like the
something like
original.
that.
I think like the original version, like they were supposed to be together or
Okay.
something, and I guess they wanted to change that or
Okay.
something. Well,
That's the
yeah,
thing. It and there's always a lot of uh, this was a thing a little while back, but there was always an issue with Will Smith. Was like he never has a a black lead actress
yeah,
with
yeah,
him. He's
yeah.
always opposite a white woman or a Hispanic woman, and it
Unless you
seems like
count
that hasn't.
Independence Day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That and what was it was another one. I guess
Bad
he
Boy.
was basically single in pursuit of happiness. He was
That
single as
horrible M Night
after
Shyamalan
Earth.
movie.
After Earth, he was just a. I guess he was a single dad in space with a weird accent. I
Eight
watched.
ounces or 8 pounds or whatever.
Oh, I can't remember something pounds.
Yeah,
27 pounds. I don't know.
7.
Yeah, I never saw that. He's in a lot of movies where I guess this is the thing that somebody who has fuck you money does is like movies that I'll never see, but I'm sure they're
Yeah.
great quality movies. Just like I can't even remember the name, but what is Concussion? Like tell the truth. And that's all I know is from seeing clips. It's like tell the
He's
truth.
African and he
Yeah,
says, "Tell the truth."
yeah. It looks like quality work, but I'm just not gonna see these movies. I need another Will Smith blockbuster action movie, and
Oh yeah.
Suicide Squad is not the one I want.
Speaking of which, is he's in like a new movie that's coming out like next week. It's like it looks horrible. It's like some feel good movie about
Oh
happy
yeah, he like
opportunity
there's
or
the embodiment of love and time and death. Like he talks to all of these entities or these concepts in their real people. It's just a
Helen
weird
Mirren is in
idea.
it. And
Yeah, Helen Mirren is death. So I don't know. It's a weird look, and it seems to be that trailer seems to show up before every movie that I've seen in the past like 2 weeks. Um,
have you? Oh yeah, you want to talk about some TV a little bit?
a little bit.
Yeah,
So what have you been watching? I still haven't caught up to the whole DC crossover, so
I
I missed
saw
all of that stuff.
I saw the DC Legends of Tomorrow by chance the day before
Okay.
yesterday, and they like they're still like you know reacting to some of the events of it, but yeah.
Okay.
No.
I
I
feel like
saw no, sorry.
I feel like Legends of Tomorrow is getting slightly better this season. Maybe it's because Rip Hunter, aka Rory from Doctor Who, he's disappeared. But I feel like they're starting to have a little more direction, but it's still like hit or miss with each episode for me.
It's the least character driven show
Yeah,
of
because
all
they
the
have so
DC.
many characters. It's
Yeah,
like you have to
exactly.
divide time between them,
Can't
but then
focus
nobody
on
shines.
yeah. The
Yeah,
whole gimmick of them traveling through time kind of
yeah,
that was like the selling point.
yeah. They have to put so much into like, okay, we have to get period clothing, and then we have to distinguish the scenarios. Like, okay, we're supposed to be in feudal Japan, but since we have such a low budget, everything is going to take place in the woods, so we won't be able to tell exactly where we are,
The
really at
woods of
all.
Vancouver.
Yeah. So, you know, those type
Collateral
of things.
Beauty. Collateral Beauty
That's
is
the
the name
name
of
of it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the stupid title.
That makes
Um,
you just think of that movie. What was the other movie? Collateral with Tom.
Damage.
No, I think it was just Collateral with Tom
Collateral.
Cruise and Jamie Foxx. I
Jamie
think.
Foxx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
I,
not
I
gonna see that one.
no, no, me neither. I saw Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it was the winter finale,
Yeah,
but with all
I've caught
the
up with that. I watched the two most recent ones back to back.
I liked the episode.
Yeah,
Did you?
they really turned it up a notch. I think,
Yeah.
like the stuff with going into, if you've seen Stranger Things, I just considered it the upside down when they they go into like this alternate dimensions. Like nobody can see them, but they're interacting with everybody. I like
Yeah,
that stuff. Like that just made me think of like when they were on like the other planet when Simmons goes through the portal. Like I like those
yeah,
episodes where it's kind of like they're thrown into a different type of situation that you don't see. Like not like a monster of the week thing where it's like they're really involved with their characters and like getting back to the rest of the team. I like those episodes.
yeah. What do you think happened to like what's going to happen with Ghost Rider and his what's his uncle or his whatever?
So I'm trying to think how it ended with them. Like he got the Ghost Rider power back from Mac.
And they were in that sort of box containment thing, and they get
Yeah.
like trapped in that or something, and they think he's dead, but then like Coulson tells a Daisy that oh don't get rid of his car just yet. He may not be
Yeah.
dead or right.
So I'm thinking he's probably gonna come back, but I would think based on the way they've been structuring seasons of Agents of Shield, it seems like there's always like a theme for the entire season. Like last season was Inhumans, strictly Inhumans, and then this season was like it was marketed as Agents of Shield, Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
So I feel like next season is gonna be something else. So that's a reason why he might not come back, or at least if he does, he's not gonna be like a focal point.
I
So
really felt
I do
I
like
really
the way
like
they've themed him though.
I really sympathize like with his. I think that was his uncle, the scientist guy
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that. Yeah,
basically wanted to be a god.
yeah. But like before, what pushed him to that was like he felt like he disrespected by those other scientists that got
Yeah,
trapped in that dimension because like they kind of like condescended to him because he was like this Latino guy and
yeah,
he was just as smart as they were, but he got no respect. And
yeah. I like
yeah,
the message that they were giving there. It's that's the funny thing with like superhero things and like sci-fi when they put that message in there because it's always like it stands out sometimes, but I like how it's like, well, it's a real thing. So
yeah,
if a guy who had been discriminated against had superpowers, he'd take his grudge out on
yeah.
people who discriminated against him. So it fits. Like these are still just humans at the end of the day. So I think
What do you think about
fit in well.
What do you think about that ending where sexy robot lady kills the random Shield agent and no, she's there's something that may be wrong with her. Maybe
Yeah, it just made me think like, oh, Westworld. It's like because like
oh
it's funny to me that she like reads this book like, oh, it has all the information in the universe and it's like, well, don't you worry about like how she's gonna use that information?
yeah,
Like she is
because
an
the re-
autonomous robot. I mean, I guess you could shut her down if she goes crazy, but it's
the
like,
re the reasoning why they let her do it because like any human
yeah,
who
they would
did it.
go insane, and that's
Yeah,
basically what happened to everybody else.
yeah.
So it's like it makes sense why you would use her for that, but you should probably
It's
have some kind of fail safe in case she's like, oh, I'm God, fuck all of this, and just runs off and decides to take over the world. Because it was funny because the guy who plays the director on there was like, hey, remember Ultron? This is
yeah.
not really a good idea. Uh,
You mentioned Westworld. We
yeah,
should talk about the
the
Westworld
finale.
season finale.
Yeah,
Where
let's wrap after Westworld talk. So you
yeah,
saw the
everyone
ending in
everyone talked about that, and it was a very, I guess, female empowering moment for some. It was just a general cool moment. Well,
well
not
as
maybe
far
not
as
cool, but
finding out that well Dolores is Wyatt. We found that out, and we found out that William is the Man in Black, which that's the funny thing I've seen debates about online. It's like, okay, people are like, there's one side, a lot of people are happy that that theory was true. Then on the other side, a lot of people are like, does this make the show any? Does this take the show down as far as quality or enjoyment? The fact that we were able to predict this at the beginning of the season and that was all it was. But I feel like
I say no.
yeah, I feel like it was still good to watch it play out because it's like you can't really rely on a twist being like the main
Yeah,
point. Like if you predicted the twist, good for you, but it's
I don't
still
watch shows
enjoying
and movies
watching
that
it.
way. I'm
Yeah,
not trying to outthink the writers and the directors. I'm
Yeah,
just
because
trying
that's
to
the
just enjoy the show.
yeah, because that's the thing. Well, like I wasn't trying to predict it, but even though like I heard the theory and I was like, oh, that makes sense, and then you're watching it, like, okay, that pans out, and then you actually find out it's true. That didn't make me like it any less
Yeah,
because it was like I could watch The Sixth Sense again, and I've seen it probably 5 times, and the initial twist, it's still there, but it's like I know it now, but it was still a good movie. It was still good watching it play out.
it's like
Um,
them. It's like Bruce Willis finding out that
yeah,
he's
like
dead.
that's the
His
enjoyment of it. It's
reaction.
like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like he's talking to people and doesn't realize they're just
Like when is he gonna
not
find out that? Yeah.
responding. Yeah, so like just knowing the twist and seeing it play out, I still liked it, and I still enjoyed the fact that it was like how they revealed it, because you see it coming together in that final episode. You see him grab the hat from one of the hosts that he's killed and puts it on, and then they pan and it goes into the older version of Ed Harris. It's like, ah, that's the official confirmation. So I just liked the way it played out, and I liked like there was a lot of stuff in that finale that was interesting. We see Samurai World when they're trying to escape. So there's the tease of like all the other different parks, like because even when they
It's not
show
just westerns. Yay!
yeah,
Thank God.
even when they show Maeve, like, okay, here's where your child is, or that host that was cast as your child, here's
Yeah.
where
Oh,
they
she
are.
didn't. She didn't like that.
Yeah, so then it says Park 1 sector or whatever. It's like, oh, Park 1, that means there's probably other ones.
Welcome to Westworld.
Yeah, so there's Samurai World, so that's there. A lot of people are speculating like, oh, maybe there's a Game of Thrones world. That's the medieval world, and they
Oh
just
God.
have a version of Game of Thrones played out in there. It's like, hey, it could be crossover opportunities. It'd be funny if just like in the finale, like the last ever episode of Game of Thrones, they just freeze, and then somebody comes in like, oh,
Okay. Like
Cersei's out of her loop. Let me let me repair. Oh, Khaleesi, she missed her mark right here.
more nudity. Yay.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about Westworld. People were talking about the fact that it has more nudity than Game of Thrones, but they completely desexualized it. It was like,
Yeah. There's nothing tantalizing about it.
yeah, they
Titillating.
yeah, they literally are basically they stripped them naked for the same reason as we talked about before, as they did in New Jack City. Like, okay, you can't get away with my stuff, you can't
Can't
steal
hide your
anything.
drugs.
Yeah, and in case you escape, everybody's gonna know. Oh, that naked person's running around. That's probably a host catching.
Yeah.
So
The scene with the God, I don't know the crazy robot woman that starts killing everyone, and like you don't even like notice that
Dolores.
she's like not Dolores, but the blonde one where like at the end she like rips her
Oh,
arm off. Yeah,
the funny thing is, what is her name? Her name
I
is
don't know.
Armistice,
Yeah,
and it's
Armistice.
funny. Armistice means to remove arms or to take away arms.
Oh, come on.
Like ceasefire, basically, like to remove arms. She actually has her arm removed.
Literally, like you don't even
So
like notice like she's naked when she just starts when she
yeah,
starts
because she
killing
has
that
the
that
like snake tattoo all around her, so
yeah
it's like she has her own like battle uh, armor or like her own war paint.
the
And did you
pervert.
see the little I guess you call it post credit scene? Because
Um.
I think the credit
Yes.
yeah, because the credits
Yeah.
hit and I was just gonna turn it off because I didn't expect anything to be there.
That's when she rips her arm.
Yeah,
Or
this
his
when
arm off.
she actually
Yeah.
pulls her arm off, and then
Yeah.
so you know she's not dead. So that's an interesting development for next season. Uh,
So Maeve, We're left to assume that she doesn't actually get out. Of,
yeah, it seems like she decides to go back for her child, which it makes me question. Like, okay, does that mean she's on a loop? Like, because they have that scene where it's like these decisions have all been laid out for you. Like, no, I'm making my own decision. So is her deciding to go back and get the child, meaning she's breaking programming, meaning the program wanted her to get out of the park, or was the program always to get to the edge then turn around? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know.
Is
I
it,
mean, she's killed a couple of
Yeah,
people, a
she's
bunch of
killed people,
people.
so I feel like that shouldn't be part of the loop, but it depends on who wrote it. Like Ford seemed to be all about that chaos at the end, and I'm wondering like again, like was that actually Anthony Hopkins? Was that
Yeah,
supposed to
Dolores
be really
getting his head
Ford?
blown off
Yeah, like was that him or did he
and
make a
shot in the head.
host to represent him and he's still alive somewhere?
Yeah, it seemed a little too like crowd pleasing to watch
Yeah.
Dolores, Dolores systematically just kill everyone one by one
Yeah, because
like
it's
that.
like, uh, aren't some people gonna get away? You can run, you can fight back. There's something you could do. Try at least. Uh, but yeah, so that was interesting finale, and we won't get another episode of Westworld until like 2018.
Really?
Yeah, because it we haven't seen this in a while, but pretty that was pretty much the way HBO shows went. Like Sopranos, you would be like a whole year in between seasons.
Torturous, yeah.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, they managed somehow to pass that by like they're constantly in production,
Because
so they're able
Westworld
to
had like production issues and stuff. I
because it
remember.
costs so much
Yeah, it's
as
so
far as
expensive.
yeah. So that's the thing where like shows in the past when their budgets have got out of control, they've had issues continuing or they get a budget drop. Because I think that was one of the reasons they said why Deadwood end up getting canceled, and this kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
same aesthetic like Western. So hopefully we don't have issues like that. It sounds like they plan on sticking with it, but I guess maybe having that long production schedule and having that big gap may save them some money. Possibly, maybe they can
Well,
stretch
in
things
the
out.
in the meantime, I could see like them getting nominated for like Emmys and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I really liked it. I thought it was a good season overall. Um, I'm hoping for more. Like sometimes they had like the reset thing, because you find out like okay, Dolores has found consciousness several times, and this is just like it playing out one of a dozen times that she's found it, and that's why we keep seeing her remembering different timelines. So I'm hoping they get past that point and we just stay in the present. Like, okay, now they're escaping, and this is what's happening currently. I would like to see that because I want to see what the real world looks like
Yeah, I want to see
outside.
robots.
Because
Yeah,
that was the
among
thing
humans.
that made me upset when Maeve turned around. I was like, no, go outside. What's going on? So I really hope they get past those doors for Delos or whatever
Yeah.
the home company is. So I'm looking forward to that next two
So am
years
I.
from now. Like by the time like Westworld comes back,
No,
we'll
well, there could
be
be no America. Like
yeah. America could be uh, instead of being great again, it could be rubble. Hopefully, we survive long enough for Avengers: Infinity War, and
the literal. No, wait. Or when you say that, you
the
mean like
the
literally, or the
actual
movie?
Infinity War, when Thanos, aka Donald Trump, puts on the Infinity Gauntlet and hits the nuclear button. Yeah, yeah. Real life is actually scarier than these superhero
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah. Not
That's
a,
why I can't get superhero fatigue because it's like, oh, this is
we
just
need Tony Stark.
yeah.
We need his wit and
The
his
problem is
personality.
like Tony Stark, if he just veers a little bit in the wrong direction, he could easily be Donald Trump.
Oh sure, Robert Downey Jr. is a he's been a Republican in real
Yeah.
life.
I this one weird thing I found out, and we'll wrap after this. But it's weird to find out. A lot of people talk about like, oh, The Rock should run for president next since the doors are
He's a
wide open now. He's a
Republican.
Republican. It's like why,
Yeah,
why Rocky? I mean, I guess when you get a lot of money, you start
exactly. I was gonna say most athletes.
you start
You'd be
thinking that
surprised
way.
by you'd
Yeah,
be surprised by the athletes and the performers and stuff that are Republicans
like
because of those
oh
tax breaks.
yeah, like why would I want to pay more taxes?
Well,
That's the thing I loved about Chappelle's
yeah,
his
I know what
monologue
you
on
mean.
SNL. It's like he was talking about when
I will wait and
Obama got
see.
elected. Like, nigga, I just got this money. It's like, okay, I understand. Maybe if I'm in that position, I'll start thinking differently. But they need a party that's for rich people and poor people. Why can't everybody benefit? Like, why does somebody have to stand on the other person's back? And that's where I'll close out.
We're gonna end on that. Oh, come
On
on.
that
We
note,
almost made it through the episode without politics.
yeah, I mean politics is uh it's a
It's
major part
tearing
of
our
our
country
life
apart.
now. We used to go through a political cycle like, oh, okay, the election's over. Now pop culture can forget about it
Yeah.
and we can wash our brains and think about kittens and celebrity divorces. But now like celebrities are our politicians and a celebrity is our president now. So
Our president is the executive producer
of
of The
Celebrity
Apprentice.
Apprentice. Ridiculous. All right. While we ponder that dark
Weep, weep.
reality, tell people where they can tweet at you with their doomsday predictions.
You can tweet at me with your doomsday predictions at Anthony Hoffman on Twitter. I'm also Anthony Hoffman on Facebook. My Instagram is at Tony Hoffman Chi, CHI.
You're also Anthony Hoffman in real life, too.
That is true.
All right. And me, Zach Hughes. You can find me on Twitter at Zach from Chicago. That's spelled ZAC from Chicago. I always try to remind people that it's Tupac without the P, but turn the two into a Z. Because that's the
Yes,
easy way to remember. Um, I'm also on
I
Facebook
remember.
at Zach Hughes, on YouTube at Zach Hughes or ZH Radio, as well as Instagram at ZH Radio. And tweet me or send me a message on Instagram and remind me to take more pictures because I need to get back into that.
Yeah.
Um, and if you want to check out the podcast on Twitter, we are at Frustrated Grad. I do a lot of, I guess you'd call it shit posting. I feel like I could be more free with.
Literally, figuratively.
Yeah, I feel like I can talk a little more shit on Twitter under the guise of Frustrated Grad. So check out some of my tweets. Maybe there's a little trolling going to be going on. Who knows? But you can check out the audio version of this podcast on frustratedgrad.com as well as Google Play Podcasts and iTunes. And don't forget to like our Facebook page. And while you're at it, send us an email, frustratedgrad@gmail.com. I'm looking for more participation in the show. Maybe I can read some emails on air if you have questions for us or some of the problems that come with being a frustrated grad yourself. Tell us about them and maybe we'll have some advice for you. Or maybe we'll just think about when we've dealt with the same problems as well. All right.
2017 is coming. New year, new you.
Yeah, that's right. Go to the gym for 3 months and then give up.
three days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for this episode of the Frustrated Grad Podcast. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube and we finally have something for you to watch on YouTube, thanks for listening. And that's all you get for today. I was just trying to stay still long enough so I could fade it out. All right. Or I should do like the black nerd guy does on YouTube. He'll just cover the camera like okay, so real quick, let's figure out an episode title. What did we talk about? We talked a lot about toys.
Yeah.
Hop on the daddy saddle. How about that?
On the day, yeah.
Hop on the daddy saddle. It's a horrible title, and I've been trying not to have dirty titles, but I guess that's not
It's
that
not
bad.
dirty.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's what they want you to do.
Since I'm under a time crunch, that's the title. So this title is, I guess, is going to be called "Hop on the Daddy Saddle," and tweet at us with the hashtag Daddy Saddle. So that's it for me. Thanks for listening. Tody's gone. So peace out, and thanks for watching again.